Hi, today we're going to talk about kind of a controversial subject. It's GLP-1 medication in adolescents. Yep, our adolescents are becoming more and more obese. You could blame it on video games, you could blame it on fast food, you could blame it on parents feeding their kids whatever they want. The blame is not the problem. We have to deal with it. And thankfully, Wagovy and Ozempic have been FDA approved for adolescents 12 years and up. Is this a good idea? Let's dive into it and find out. First of all, it's hard to find a pediatrician that knows a lot about GLP-1 medications. You may have to go to a specialist, an obesity doctor, or an endocrinologist. That's just the way that it is because it's so new for adults. Imagine how new it is for adolescents. One of the biggest obstacles for the adolescents is the cost. It's even harder for adolescents to get approved by insurance than it is for adults. And it is not recommended by the Journal of Pediatrics that the adolescents use compounded semaglutide. So that makes it even more expensive and harder. And like I said, that's the biggest obstacles. They're hoping that one day it'll get approved for more types of chronic problems like liver disease or sleep apnea and make it a little bit easier. But today is not that day. Excuse me for looking at my notes, but they're also hoping that one day there is an off-ramp and that these adolescents will not have to stay on this medication for life. But let's face it, obesity is a chronic disease, and chronic in itself means chronic forever, so there is a possibility. One of the trickiest things is that the doctors have to not only explain everything to the parents, they have to manage the child's expectations. It's not a magic wand. You will not lose it overnight, but like with any of the GLP-1 medications in adults or in adolescents, you do have to somewhat watch what you eat. There isn't a specific diet that they usually tell them to follow, but it does help if they do follow specific guideline of what to eat and eat nutrient-dense foods along with a little bit of workout, because again, you do not want to lose muscle mass. You have to also realize that 80% of obese adolescents turn into obese adults. That in itself is also a big problem. So that is one good news for using this medication to help. So, teens are more likely to quit this medication if they have side effects, because what kid wants to feel nauseated or possibly throw up? Not too many that I know of, and they do tend to quit this medication a little bit quicker if they do have side effects. And again, you will hardly ever find a pediatrician that will say it's okay to use compounded medication. So that again means that it's going to be $1,000 to $1,200 a month for the adolescent to use the medication. Now, you also have to outweigh the medication versus bariatric surgery. A choice that the family has to discuss with the doctors and make, but there is another option besides bariatric surgery. There is the use of the GLP-1 medications. And with GLP-1 medication, out of 7,000 kids in a study, it showed that 33% of them had a lower risk of having any suicidal thoughts than overweight adolescents that are not taking the medication. To me, I think that's huge, but just something to think about. Now again, the way that this medication works is it's a once weekly injection, so you have to have the adult show the child how to use it, or have the adult use it on the adolescent themselves. And this medication, it's a hormone that happens in this small bowel, and what it does is it signals the pancreas to secrete some insulin, and it slows down the digestion and stomach emptying so that you feel full quicker and feel full longer. Again, just like with adults, very important to eat nutrient-dense food and have lots and lots of water. Hydration and nutrient-dense food is a key because they are still growing and they need the nutrition. So what do you think? Do you think we should be giving our adolescents GLP-1 medications? Is bariatric surgery the way of choice? You tell me. Let me know in the comments. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share button so I could keep giving you this useful information.